I remember her saying, I just have to tell you guys something. And then she told us.
What did she tell you?
She told us that she had thoughts of harming the children.
Chilling family confessions and texts admitting she felt mentally unwell marked the start of week 4 in Lindsay Clancy's bombshell murder trial. Lindsay's own mom and sister delivered gut-wrenching testimony on Monday as they took the stand in the trial that has gripped the U.S. While Lindsay's former coworker also gave the jury new insight into the 36-year-old nurse's life before she killed her 3 kids. I'm Fiona McLaughlin with the U.S. Sun, and we're taking a look back at everything you may have missed as the trial continued on day 14. Stay on top of updates by hitting subscribe. Day 14 of Lindsay Clancy's trial began with the prosecution resting its case after nearly calling 70 witnesses in their attempt to prove she intentionally murdered her 3 children on January 24, 2023. Before calling any witnesses for the defense, lawyer Kevin Reddington attempted to file a motion again to have her charges lowered or for Lindsay to be found not guilty by reason of insanity. While Lindsay stared directly at the prosecutors, the high-profile attorney argued that evidence in the case overwhelmingly showed Lindsay was suffering from some sort of mental health issues that were, quote, occupying her waking hours. The judge quickly refused to hear the motion.
Respectfully, I would suggest that a required finding of not guilty should be entered on the case. I also would argue to the court that I think that under the Burnett-Silvera standard and the evidence that Your Honor has before you, that the matter should be reduced down, if you will, from premeditated malice of forethought, cruelty, and atrocity to second degree. I'm not arguing at this stage Commonwealth versus Gray or any of its progeny as to manslaughter, but I think the court, certainly in its wise exercise of discretion, has the ability and the right to reduce the charge to second degree murder or enter a required finding.
All right. Based on that and based on the standard as described that I have to apply at this point, I'm going to deny the defendant's motion.
A labor and delivery nurse who worked with Lindsay was the first witness called by the defense after the judge denied Reddington's motion. During her testimony, Margaret Hamp revealed she and Lindsay had a conversation about postpartum mental health when Lindsay first started working at the hospital, saying she cried after hearing about the case of Andrea Yates. Yates' case has drawn striking similarities to Lindsay's, as she was ultimately found not guilty by reason of insanity in 2006 for drowning her 5 children years earlier.
We had a conversation. Lindsay was brand new. It was the summer that she had just started. And we had a conversation about mental health in pregnancy and postpartum. And I asked her if she had ever heard of the Andrea Yates case, and she hadn't. And I explained that to her, and she cried. And she said, how could a mother hurt her children?
The chilling text message Lindsay sent to her mom, Paula Musgrove, pleading for her to come stay with her because she was scared just months before she killed her kids, was revealed in court.
One particular evening that was disturbing to me was that, she was afraid. She was afraid to be alone. And she actually asked if she could sleep with me.
When was that?
That was late November, early December.
And did she indeed sleep with you on that occasion?
She did.
Musgrove also revealed the moment Lindsay confessed to her and her then-husband, Patrick Clancy, that she had thoughts of harming the kids.
I remember her being very nervous. I remember her saying, I just have to tell you guys something. And then she told us.
What did she tell you?
She told us that she had thoughts of harming the children.
Lindsay's sister, Allison Osga, also took the witness stand on day 14 of the trial, where she revealed her gut feeling that something was wrong and how Lindsay claimed she was having suicidal ideation every day for a month before she killed her kids.
The beginning of December, it seemed like she very much decompensated. I do remember her saying at one point at the beginning of December, something along the lines of, I'm in a really tough spot. And knowing what she had shared with me previously about how her mental health had been struggling, I had this gut feeling that something was off and that she was really struggling. And I asked her if she was safe.
What did she say?
She said yes at that point.
And you knew her husband, Pat?
Yes.
And you knew the kids?
Yes.
Obviously. Do you recall around Christmas itself, and perhaps a little bit thereafter, that you spoke with her and that she indicated, basically, I'm not doing okay?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what you observed about her demeanor or her symptomology when you said she was decompensating around that time? What were they symptoms in your mind of?
Based on communication with Lindsay, and I started communicating with Pat directly at that time. She was reporting her mood was worsening, as she described as depression. Um, she was having more suicidal thoughts. Insomnia continued to be an issue. She was really not feeling like herself at the end of December. So I think it was more along the same of, that she is really not feeling well. Her mood is down. She's feeling numb. She's feeling hopeless. I believe at the very end of the month, she told me she had suicidal ideation every day for a month.
Do you recall towards the end of the month around New Year's that she voluntarily admitted herself somewhere?
Yes.
Lindsay's Apple Watch has been an unexpected mystery in the case, as attorneys continue to bring up the device that was never seized by police. A cell phone forensics expert who testified in both of Karen Reed's trials, where she was ultimately found not guilty of murdering her boyfriend, took the stand, where he broke down the health data collected on Lindsay's Apple Watch and phone. The expert said Lindsay's heart rate throughout the day on January 24th, 2023 ranged from 50 beats per minute to 122 beats per minute. And her watch detected that she had climbed 3 flights of stairs after 5 p.m., which is believed to be the window where she killed her kids. But during the cross-examination, Lindsay's attorney questioned the accuracy of the health data on Lindsay's phone and Apple Watch, revealing it picked up 47 meters of movement on January 25th, 2023, when Lindsay was intubated in the ICU.
If I tell you, sir, that January 25 at 8 o'clock in the morning, Lindsay Clancy was in a coma, laying in a bed with tubes coming out of her body and certainly not wearing her Apple Watch, how did that happen?
Based purely on the report there, I'd suggest the data came from the phone rather than the watch.
As I just told you about the watch. Did you ever look at this watch?
No, we can't actually pull data directly from the watch. We pull it from the phone.
How do you look at a watch?
We extract the data from the phone, which is synchronized to from the watch to the phone.
Okay. So I'm handing you, is that an Apple Watch?
Yeah, it appears to be, yes.
Okay. And if I suggest to you that this was found a number of days later in Lindsay's bedroom in a drawer that the police never seized, have you ever seen this before?
I've never seen this before, no.
How long have you been working on this case for the government?
I started looking at this case in November last year.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have, Judge.